The morning sun hits the obstacle course like a spotlight on Judgment Day. Lieutenant Colonel Damon Riker stands at the edge of the training ground, arms crossed, watching 40 soldiers sweat through their drills. His voice carries across the field like a hammer striking metal. Listen up, we've got a civilian advisor joining us today. Try not to embarrass yourselves in front of someone who's never seen real combat. The laughter ripples through the ranks, controlled, expected, exactly what Riker wants. A figure approaches from the east gate. She walks with measured steps, civilian jacket zipped halfway, no uniform underneath, brown hair pulled back in a simple tie. Nothing remarkable, nothing that screams authority or capability, just another consultant with a clipboard and theories. Riker turns to face her as she reaches the perimeter of the training area. His eyes scan from her worn boots to her plain clothing. The corner of his mouth twitches upward. "You're the advisor? The one they sent to evaluate my program?" She stops 3 feet away, meets his gaze without blinking. "Captain Rhea Maddox, civilian contractor." Yes, the title feels wrong in her mouth, but she delivers it flat. No emotion, no challenge, just information. Riker's smile widens. He raises his voice so the entire unit can hear. "Everyone, this is our advisor, a civilian, a woman who's going to tell us how to train for combat zones." He pauses for effect. "Hope you're not here to waste my time, Miss Maddox. We run a tight operation. No room for theories that look good on paper, but fail in the field." Sergeant Jax Renly, the top performer of the group, wipes sweat from his forehead and exchanges glances with Corporal Hayes. Both men shake their heads slightly. Hayes mutters something under his breath that makes the soldier next to him snicker. Rhea doesn't respond to Riker's speech. She shifts her weight slightly, clipboard held at her left side, and surveys the training course. Her eyes move systematically. Each obstacle, each weapon rack, each soldier's posture, the way they hold their rifles, the spacing between teams, small details that most consultants wouldn't notice. Near the equipment shed, Sergeant Cole leans against the wall. 58 years old, 2 tours in the Gulf, 1 in Afghanistan. He's seen every type of soldier and every type of fraud. When Rhea's gaze passes over the ammunition storage area, Cole's eyes narrow. Something about the way she assesses the layout, like she's not seeing it for the first time, like she's checking if things are still where she remembers them. Riker gestures toward a folding chair set up near the observation tower. "Feel free to sit, take notes, try not to get in the way." Rhea glances at the chair, then at the obstacle course. She walks past the chair and positions herself at the edge of the main training lane. The spot offers a clear view of every station. The same position a range officer would take, not a consultant, not someone unfamiliar with how drills are supervised. Private Elise Danner, 21 years old and 3 months into her first posting, watches from her position at the rope climb station. She leans toward the soldier next to her. She stands different. You see that? See what? Her feet, the way she's balanced. That's not a civilian stance. The other soldier shrugs. Probably took a self-defense class once, thinks she's tactical now. But Elise keeps watching. The way Rhea's shoulders stay level. The way her head moves when she scans. Like someone who's been in fire before. Someone who knows what to look for when things go wrong. Riker claps his hands together. The sharp sound cuts through the morning air. "All right, let's give our guest a show." Renly, Hayes, Martinez, front and center. 3 soldiers jog forward and line up. Riker points at Rhea. "Since you're here to evaluate our combat readiness, how about a practical demonstration? These 3 are our best hand-to-hand specialists. I'd like to see how a civilian advisor handles a real-world scenario." Rhea turns to face him. Her expression doesn't change. "You want them to engage me physically? Call it a stress test. You can observe all you want from the sidelines, but unless you felt pressure, you can't really understand what we do here. Can you?" The implication hangs in the air. The unspoken challenge. Prove you belong, or admit you're just another paper pusher who'll write a report and disappear. Rhea sets her clipboard on the ground, straightens slowly. When she speaks, her voice drops to a level that makes everyone lean in slightly to hear. "I don't recommend that action." Riker's smile grows wider. "Why? Scared?" "No. Concerned about unnecessary injuries." Hayes laughs. Actually laughs out loud. "Injuries? Ma'am, we know how to pull our punches. You'll be fine." Rhea looks at Hayes, then at Martinez, then at Renly. She takes a slow breath. In through the nose for 4 counts. Hold for 4. Out for 4, hold for 4. The cycle is so subtle that most people miss it, but Cole sees it. His hand drops from where it was resting on the wall. His posture straightens. If you insist, Rhea says quietly. Riker waves his hand. Show her what SEAL training looks like, gentlemen. Controlled engagement. Make it educational. The 3 soldiers spread out. Hayes approaches from the front. Martinez circles left. Renly moves right. Standard flanking pattern. They've done this drill hundreds of times against each other, against instructors, against visiting Special Forces personnel. Hayes makes the first move. Quick jab toward Rhea's shoulder. Nothing lethal, just meant to test reaction time. What happens next takes 4 seconds. Hayes's fist never reaches its target. Rhea's hand intercepts his wrist mid-swing. Her grip locks. 1 rotation. Hayes's own momentum turns against him. His wrist bends at an angle that forces his whole body to follow. He's airborne before he realizes he's been thrown. Martinez lunges from the left. Rhea pivots at the hip. No wasted movement. Her shoulder connects with his center mass. The impact redirects his charge. He stumbles past her, off balance. Her foot sweeps his ankle. He goes down hard, face first into the dirt. Renly tries to grab her from behind. Smart move, textbook approach. His arms reach for a bear hug that would immobilize most opponents. Rhea drops her weight, bends forward. Renly's arms close on empty air above her. She drives her elbow backward into his solar plexus. Not hard enough to cause serious damage, just enough to empty his lungs. He staggers back, gasping. 4 seconds. 3 soldiers down. Rhea stands in the exact same spot where she started, breathing steady, no visible exertion. She brushes dirt from her jacket sleeve. The training ground goes silent. 40 soldiers stare. Some have their mouths open. Others have frozen mid-exercise, forgotten weights still in hand. Riker's smile vanishes. His face goes pale, then red. The color of someone who's just been embarrassed in front of everyone he commands. Rhea picks up her clipboard. She looks at the 3 soldiers on the ground. Hayes is pushing himself to his knees. Martinez rolls onto his back, coughing. Renly sits with his arms wrapped around his middle, trying to remember how to breathe. She speaks clearly, loud enough for everyone to hear. Don't use the techniques I taught you for the wrong purpose. The words land like a grenade in still water. Ripples of confusion spread through the assembled soldiers. Techniques I taught you. What does that mean? Who is this woman? Renly looks up at her, still wheezing. His eyes are wide. Something in his expression shifts from pain to recognition, but incomplete recognition. Like seeing someone familiar in the wrong context. A teacher from childhood, encountered at a bar decades later. How did you? Rhea doesn't answer. She walks past the 3 soldiers and approaches the obstacle course. Her hand runs along the rope climb station, testing tension, checking for wear. The movements of someone who knows what safe equipment feels like, who's inspected these exact ropes before. Elise whispers to her neighbor again. I told you, that's not a civilian. Cole pushes off from the wall. He walks slowly toward the main group, eyes locked on Rhea. His brain is working overtime, connecting dots. The way she moved, the efficiency, the precise application of force. Nothing brutal, nothing excessive, just enough to neutralize 3 trained soldiers in the time it takes most people to tie their shoes. And that phrase, techniques I taught you. Riker regains his composure. Sort of. His jaw is tight. His hands are fists at his sides. He raises his voice to address the entire unit. All right, show's over. Everyone back to your stations. We've got a schedule to keep. The soldiers hesitate, then slowly return to their drills. But the energy has changed. Conversations happen in low voices. Glances keep sliding toward Rhea. Questions pile up unasked. Hayes, Martinez, and Renly pick themselves up. They don't look at Riker. They don't look at each other. They just limp back to the main formation, trying to salvage whatever dignity they have left. Riker approaches Rhea, stops just outside her personal space, close enough to be intimidating, far enough to maintain plausible deniability if anyone questions his conduct later. That was quite a performance, he says. His voice is low, meant only for her. But tricks don't impress me. Anyone can get lucky once. Let's see how well you do with actual assessments, evaluating soldier performance, writing reports, the boring work that consultants get paid for. Rhea meets his gaze. I'm here to do whatever is required. Good, because I'm scheduling you for the tactical evaluation review this afternoon. You'll observe our combat scenario exercises and provide written analysis. Think you can handle paperwork as well as you handle ambushes? Yes. Great. Report to the admin building at 1300 hours. Someone will brief you on the format. He turns to leave, then pauses, looks back over his shoulder. One more thing. Stay out of the training lanes unless explicitly invited. Liability issues. I'm sure you understand. He walks away before she can respond. His stride is stiff, controlled, the walk of a man who's barely containing rage. Have you ever been judged before you even spoke? Hit that like button if you've ever felt invisible in a room full of people who underestimated you. And subscribe, because what happens next will flip everything. The morning drills continue. Rhea observes from her position at the edge of the course. She takes notes, real notes, technical assessments about form, timing, equipment usage, not the fake observations of someone pretending to know what they're looking at. Cole circles around the perimeter. He ends up near Rhea, close enough to speak without being overheard by the main group. You handle yourself well. Rhea glances at him. Thank you. Where'd you train, if you don't mind me asking? Here and there. That's not really an answer. I know. Cole grunts. Not quite a laugh, more like acknowledgement. Fair enough. Name's Cole. Been here longer than the furniture. Rhea Maddox. Yeah, I heard. Civilian contractor. Evaluation specialist. He pauses, watches a pair of soldiers struggle through the rope climb. You move like someone with a military background, but they said you're civilian. I am. Now. The word now hangs there. Significant. Cole picks up on it immediately. What branch? Rhea doesn't answer. Just keeps writing on her clipboard. Cole studies her profile, the way she holds herself, the scars he can see on her hands, old burn tissue on her left palm, the kind you get from hot brass or friction rope, not from office work. Well, he says finally, if you need anything while you're here, let me know. I know where everything is, including the exits. He walks away. Rhea watches him go. She saw the moment his mind started working, the connections forming. But he's not there yet, not all the way, just suspicious. That's fine. Suspicion she can manage. It's certainty that causes problems. The morning passes. Soldiers rotate through various stations, live fire drills at the range, hand-to-hand practice in the sand pit, obstacle course time trials. Rhea observes everything, makes detailed notes, occasionally asks a soldier about their technique. Her questions are specific, technical, the kind that someone with actual experience would ask. Renly tries to avoid her during the obstacle run, but they end up at the same station. He's fastening his climbing harness when she approaches. Your left shoulder. He freezes. What about it? You favor it. Old injury? Separated it during a training exercise 2 years ago. Healed fine. Does it still limit your range of motion above 160 degrees? Renly blinks. That's not a question a civilian asks. That's not even a question most military personnel would ask. That's the kind of detail a physical therapist would know. Or a combat medic. Or an instructor who's seen hundreds of shoulder injuries and knows exactly how they affect performance. How did your form on the rope climb? You compensate by overusing your right side. It's subtle, but it creates uneven loading. Long term, that leads to back problems. Renly stares at her. Are you a doctor? No. Then how do you know about my shoulder? I never filed an official report. It was off books. Just a training accident that I worked through. Rhea adjusts her clipboard. Lucky guess based on observation. But her tone says it's not a guess. It's knowledge. Specific, detailed knowledge about his injury. About an incident that happened 2 years ago, before she supposedly arrived at this base. Renly opens his mouth to ask another question, but Lieutenant Vance calls for the next rotation. Soldiers move to new stations. The moment breaks. Rhea walks away, leaving Renly standing there with half-formed questions and a growing sense that something about this civilian advisor doesn't add up. Lunch arrives. The soldiers head to the DFAC. Rhea stays at the training ground. She walks the perimeter alone, examining equipment, testing stability, checking maintenance logs in the equipment shed. Cole watches from a distance. Every move she makes reinforces his suspicion. This woman knows military infrastructure, not from reading manuals, from living it. At 12:45, Rhea heads toward the admin building, the tactical evaluation review. Riker's attempt to bury her in paperwork and protocol. to show that real military assessment is more than just physical capability. She arrives at 1300 hours exactly, not a minute early, not a minute late. Military punctuality. Inside the admin building, a corporal directs her to a conference room. She enters to find stacks of files, soldier performance reports, combat scenario results, equipment maintenance records, enough paperwork to keep 3 people busy for a week. Riker enters behind her. Here's your assignment. Review these files. Cross-reference the performance data with the training outcomes. Identify gaps. Recommend improvements. I need a comprehensive report by 1700 hours today. 4 hours. For work that should take 40. Rhea looks at the files, then at Riker. This isn't a standard evaluation timeline. It's my timeline. Problem? No. Good. There's a workstation in the corner. Coffee in the break room. Let me know if you need anything else. He leaves. The door clicks shut. Rhea is alone with mountains of paper and an impossible deadline. She sits down, opens the first file, starts reading. Her hand moves across the page, making notes, cross-referencing data. But her speed is unusual. She's not skimming. She's absorbing, processing, filing information away with the efficiency of someone who's done this exact task hundreds of times before. 2 hours pass. She's through half the files. Her notes are extensive, detailed. She's identified 3 major training gaps and 2 equipment deficiencies that the official reports completely missed. At 1500 hours, Elise Danner enters the admin building. She's not supposed to be here. This area is restricted to command staff and authorized personnel. But curiosity is a powerful motivator, and Private Danner has questions that won't stop multiplying. She slips past the main desk while the corporal is in the bathroom, moves down the hallway toward the records room. She's not even sure what she's looking for, just something, anything that explains who Rhea Maddox really is. The records room door is unlocked. Sloppy security, but not uncommon on a base this size. Elise enters. Rows of filing cabinets, decades of personnel records, training reports, classified mission summaries, all organized by year and unit designation. She starts with recent files, searches for any mention of Maddox. Nothing in the current year. Nothing in the past 2 years. She goes back further. 3 years. 4 years. Then she finds it. A folder marked with outdated classification stamps, the kind they used before the digital transition. Inside, a single photograph paper-clipped to a personnel file, a woman in full SEAL combat gear, tactical vest, weapon slung across her chest, face partially shadowed by her helmet, but the features are clear enough. Sharp eyes, determined expression, and on her exposed right shoulder, visible where the vest strap has shifted, a tattoo, the SEAL Trident. Below it, a serial number, BH117. Elise's hands shake as she reads the text below the photo. Captain Rhea Maddox, SEAL Combat Master, Instructor, Black Horizon Training Unit, Status, Killed in Action, Mission Date, Classified, Body Not Recovered, Killed in Action, 2 years ago. But the woman in that photograph is the same woman currently sitting in the conference room analyzing training reports. Older, maybe, hair slightly different, but undeniably the same person. Elise pulls out her phone, takes a picture of the document. Her mind races. This can't be real. People don't come back from the dead, especially not people with body not recovered stamps on their files, unless the body was never lost, unless killed in action was a cover, unless Rhea Maddox has been alive this entire time, hiding in plain sight. Elise closes the file carefully, returns it to the exact position where she found it. She backs out of the records room, checking to make sure no one saw her. The hallway is empty. She moves quickly toward the exit, but she doesn't leave the building. Instead, she finds Sergeant Cole outside near the vehicle maintenance area. He's supervising a tire rotation. Elise approaches with her phone in hand. "Sergeant Cole, I need to show you something." Cole looks up from the work order he's reviewing. "Private Danner, shouldn't you be at afternoon drills?" "I got permission to run an errand, but that's not important. Look at this." She holds up her phone, shows him the photograph she took. Cole's expression goes from mild curiosity to shocked recognition in 3 seconds. "Where did you get this?" "Records room. I was looking for information about the advisor, and I found this." Cole takes the phone, zooms in on the photo. His eyes focus on the tattoo, the serial number, the unit designation, Black Horizon. He was active duty when Black Horizon was operational. He knows what that unit did, who they trained, and he knows that Captain Maddox was legendary even among legends. Holy cow, he whispers. That's her. That's actually her. But it says, killed in action, 2 years ago. Cole scrolls through the document, reads the mission summary, or tries to. Most of it is redacted. Black bars over whole paragraphs, only fragments visible. Hostile territory, asset extraction, multiple casualties, status unconfirmed. He looks up at the admin building. Rhea is in there right now, a woman who supposedly died 2 years ago, a SEAL combat master, an instructor who trained some of the most elite soldiers in the entire military. And she's been standing on this training ground all morning, being treated like an incompetent civilian by a man who probably wasn't qualified to clean her boots. Does Commander Riker know? Elise asks. I don't think so. If he did, he wouldn't have... Cole trails off. Wouldn't have what? Insulted her? Ordered soldiers to attack her? Buried her in impossible paperwork? Any of those actions would be career-ending offenses if directed at a superior officer. Even a retired one. Even one who's supposed to be dead. What do we do? Elise's voice is urgent. Do we tell someone? Cole thinks. His instincts are pulling in different directions. On one hand, chain of command says report immediately. On the other hand, if Captain Maddox is here under false identity, she has a reason, and that reason might be more important than protocol. We don't do anything yet. If she wanted people to know who she is, she'd have said something. She's playing a role. We don't know why. Until we do, we keep this between us. But Sergeant, that's an order, Private. We observe, we watch, and if things go wrong, then we act. Understood? Elise hesitates, then nods. Understood. Cole hands back her phone. Delete that photo, right now. She does. Cole watches to make sure. Then he walks back toward the admin building. Elise follows at a distance. Both of them are carrying a secret that feels heavier than any equipment they've ever hauled. Inside the conference room, Rhea is finishing her analysis. She's not just met the deadline, she's crushed it. The report is comprehensive, professional, better than anything Riker was expecting. She prints the final draft and stacks the files neatly. At 16:45, 15 minutes early, she walks to Riker's office. Knocks twice. Enter. She opens the door. Riker is at his desk, working on his computer. He glances up, clearly not expecting her yet. You're done already? Yes, sir. She places the report on his desk. Riker picks it up, starts reading. His expression shifts. Surprise, then annoyance, then something darker. This report is good. Too good. It identifies problems he wasn't aware of, suggests solutions that are practical and implementable.
And it's written with the kind of authority that doesn't come from consulting. It comes from command. This is very thorough. Thank you. Where did you learn to analyze tactical performance metrics like this? Experience. Civilian experience? Yes. Riker sets the report down, leans back in his chair, studies her face. You're full of surprises, Miss Maddox. First the impressive self-defense display, now this. Almost makes me wonder if you've got a military background you're not disclosing. I've worked with various military organizations as a contractor. You learn the language after a while. Riker doesn't buy it. Not completely. But he can't prove anything. Not yet. Well, your work is acceptable. You can head back to your quarters. Same time tomorrow morning. Rhea nods, turns to leave. She's almost at the door when Riker speaks again. Actually, before you go, we need to verify your security clearance. Standard procedure for contractors working on base. There's an issue with your file in the system. Could you stop by the security office and sort it out? Red flags go up in Rhea's mind, but her face stays neutral. Of course. Where's the security office? Building 7. Ask for Corporal Bennett. He'll handle the paperwork. I'll go right now. Rhea leaves. The door closes. Riker sits alone in his office. He waits 30 seconds. Then he picks up his phone, dials an internal extension. Bennett, this is Riker. I'm sending someone to you. Civilian contractor named Rhea Maddox. When she arrives, run her face through the advanced recognition system. Full database search. I want to know if she's in any military records, active or archived. A pause while Bennett responds. I don't care if it takes time. Make it a priority. And call me immediately when you get results. Don't tell her what you're doing. Keep it routine. He hangs up, leans back in his chair. Something about Rhea Maddox isn't adding up. The skills, the knowledge.
The way she moves. It all points to serious military background. But her file shows nothing except civilian consulting work. Either she's lying or someone scrubbed her records. Either way, Riker needs to know. Because if she's some kind of investigator, if she's here to look into his operations, then he has problems. Big problems. The kind that end careers and start criminal investigations. Rhea walks across the base toward Building 7. She knows what's happening. Riker is checking up on her. Standard paranoid commander behavior. The facial recognition system will flab her identity eventually. It's inevitable. The only question is timing. She enters Building 7, finds Corporal Bennett at his desk. Young, maybe 23, eager to please. "Sir, I'm here about a security clearance verification. Commander Riker sent me." Bennett looks up from his computer. "Oh yeah, Miss Maddox, right? Just need to update your file. Standard stuff."
Can you stand in front of that camera? He points to a mounted camera with a small screen next to it. Facial recognition hardware. Rhea knew it was coming, but she was hoping for more time. She stands in front of the camera, keeps her expression neutral. The system captures multiple angles. Bennett types on his keyboard. "This'll just take a minute. The system is comparing your face to our database, making sure everything matches up with your contractor registration." But that's not all it's doing. Rhea can see the progress bar on Bennett's screen. It's not just checking contractor files. It's running a full military personnel search. Active duty, reserves, retired, even classified archives. She has maybe 90 seconds before the system flags her, before her real identity appears on Bennett's screen, before he calls Riker and tells him that the civilian advisor is actually a presumed dead SEAL combat master. 90 seconds to decide whether to run or stay.
Whether to maintain the cover or reveal herself early. Whether to salvage the mission or abort. The progress bar hits 70%, 80%. Bennett is looking at his phone, not paying attention. Rhea could leave right now, walk out, disappear into the base. But that would raise immediate suspicion. Better to stay. Better to control the situation. 90%. The door behind her opens. Major Holt Vex enters. Intelligence officer. Rhea knows him. They worked together on 2 previous operations. He's here as part of the investigation into the Black Horizon leak. He's supposed to maintain distance. But seeing him here, now, is either perfect timing or terrible luck. Vex looks at Bennett. "Corporal, I need to borrow your workstation. Classified matter. Step outside for a moment." Bennett hesitates. "Sir, I'm in the middle of a security verification. It can wait. Outside. Now." Bennett leaves. Vex closes the door behind him, locks it, turns to Rhea.
Your cover is about to blow. That system's 10 seconds from displaying your real file. I know. Riker's getting suspicious. He ordered this search. I expected he would. Vex moves to the computer, types rapidly. The progress bar resets. A different file loads. Generic contractor information. No flags, no military history, just a clean civilian record. That buys you maybe 12 hours. After that, Riker will notice the discrepancy and order a manual search. We need to move faster. I'm working on it. Work harder. We've intercepted communications suggesting that someone on this base is about to transfer classified intel to Vanguard Ghost, tonight. If we don't identify the source before the transfer happens, they'll disappear, and we'll have lost our only lead on who killed your team. Rhea's jaw tightens. Who's the suspect? We don't know. Could be Riker. Could be someone under his command. Could be a civilian staffer. The communications are encrypted. All we know is the transfer point. Weapons storage building. 2200 hours. Then I'll be there. Negative. You're supposed to be observing, gathering evidence, not conducting field operations. If you blow your cover, if I don't stop that transfer, we lose everything. The investigation, the evidence, any chance of finding out who betrayed Black Horizon. Vex knows she's right, but he also knows the risk. Fine, but you do it clean. No casualties if you can avoid them. And if things go wrong, I can't extract you. You'll be on your own. I always am. Vex unlocks the door, opens it. Bennett is standing outside, looking confused. Vex waves him back in. Verification complete. Miss Maddox's clearance is current. Update her file and move on. He leaves before Bennett can ask questions. Rhea follows. Outside, the sun is setting. Long shadows stretch across the base. In 5 hours, someone will attempt to sell classified information, and Rhea will be waiting. But first, she needs to prepare. She heads to the civilian quarters. Small room, basic amenities. She locks the door, opens her duffel bag. Inside, beneath layers of civilian clothing, tactical gear. Compact, lightweight, designed for situations exactly like this. She checks her equipment. Comm earpiece, night vision monocular, zip ties for restraints, small first aid kit, everything she might need for a quiet intercept mission. At 21:30 hours, she changes into dark clothing, soft-soled boots, fitted long sleeves, nothing that will make noise or catch on obstacles. She moves through the base under cover of darkness. Most soldiers are in the barracks or off-duty areas. The training ground is empty. The weapons storage building sits at the northeast corner of the base, secured with electronic locks and motion sensors. But Rhea knows the security system. She helped design it 4 years ago when this facility was upgraded. She approaches from the east side, finds the maintenance access panel, uses a bypass key that technically shouldn't exist anymore, but military systems have long memories, and contractors tend to keep copies of critical access tools. The panel opens. She disables the motion sensors in the rear quadrant. Not enough to trigger an alarm, but enough to create a blind spot. She slips inside. The storage building is dark. Rows of weapon racks, ammunition crates, equipment lockers, everything organized with military precision. Rhea moves between the aisles, finds a position behind a stack of gear crates, clear view of the main entrance and the loading area. Anyone coming in will have to pass her vantage point. She settles in, checks her watch. 21:52, 8 minutes until the scheduled transfer. Time passes. The building is silent except for the hum of climate control. Rhea controls her breathing. 4 counts in, 4 counts hold. 4 counts out, 4 counts hold. The rhythm keeps her calm, focused, ready. At 21:58, voices outside, multiple people. Rhea tenses, shifts her position slightly, maintains concealment. The door opens, lights flicker on, and Rhea's heart drops into her stomach. It's not one person, it's 10. 10 soldiers in full tactical gear, led by Lieutenant Colonel Riker. This isn't a transfer meeting. This is an ambush. Riker walks to the center of the building, looks directly at the stack of crates where Rhea is hiding. "I know you're in here, Captain Maddox. Or should I say, the ghost of Captain Maddox. Facial recognition flagged you 2 hours ago. Took me a while to believe it. A dead woman walking around my base pretending to be a civilian? Quite the trick." Rhea doesn't move, doesn't respond. Her mind is racing. 10 soldiers, all armed, in a confined space. No backup, no extraction. Every tactical advantage belongs to Riker. "Come out," Riker continues. "Let's talk like professionals. You obviously have questions. I obviously have questions. Maybe we can work something out." His tone is reasonable, almost friendly, but his soldiers are spreading out, covering exits, creating crossfire lanes. This is not a conversation setup. This is an execution setup. Wait, did you catch that line? Techniques I taught you? Drop a comment if you think you know who she really is. And if you're loving this twist, hit the thanks button to support more stories like this. Rhea stays hidden, calculating. 10 against 1. In the dark, maybe she'd have a chance. But the lights are on. They know approximately where she is. And she's not here to fight her way through 10 soldiers who are just following orders. They don't know what Riker really is. They think they're following legitimate commands. Riker loses patience. "All right, hard way it is. Spread out. Find her. Non-lethal force only. I want her alive for questioning." The soldiers move. Systematic search pattern. They're good. Well-trained. Rhea recognizes their formation. It's one she taught.
One she developed during her time as combat master. They're using her own tactics against her. She has seconds to decide. Fight and risk injuring soldiers who are just doing their job. Run and abandon the mission. Or find option 3, something unexpected, something that changes the entire situation. The first soldier reaches her position. Young corporal, maybe 25. Weapon raised but finger off the trigger. Disciplined, controlled. He rounds the corner of the crates. Rhea is already moving. She doesn't fight him. She disarms him. Precision grip on his weapon hand, pressure point release. The rifle drops. She catches it. Not to use against him, just to remove it from the equation. She spins him around, locks his arm, walks him forward as a shield. "Everyone stop!" Her voice cuts through the building. The soldiers freeze. Riker turns, sees his corporal in a controlled hold. Not hurt, but definitely neutralized. "Let him go," Riker says.
This doesn't have to get ugly. You're right, it doesn't. Tell your men to stand down. You and I can talk. Why should I trust you? Because if I wanted to hurt him, he'd already be unconscious. I'm giving you a choice. Make the smart one. Riker considers. He knows Rhea's reputation. He knows what she's capable of. And he knows that in a confined space with limited visibility, even 10 armed soldiers might not be enough to stop her if she decides violence is necessary. But he also knows she won't kill, won't cross that line unless absolutely forced. Her record shows it. Every engagement, every mission, minimum necessary force. That's her signature. And that's her weakness. Riker nods to his soldiers. Surround her. Maintain distance. If she moves wrong, take her down. The soldiers spread out, form a perimeter. Rhea still has the corporal in her hold, still has control of the immediate situation, but she's boxed in. No clear exit. No way to fight through 10 armed opponents without causing serious casualties. Riker steps closer, stays just outside her reach. I buried you once, Maddox. Destroyed your career with a false report. Made sure you'd never wear that uniform again. And it worked. You disappeared. Everyone thought you died in Black Horizon. Very convenient. You set up Black Horizon. You leaked the intel that got my team killed. Prove it. I will. Not from inside a military prison, which is exactly where you're going. Impersonating a federal contractor, trespassing in a secure facility, assaulting military personnel. I've got enough charges to bury you for real this time. Rhea's grip on the corporal loosened slightly. Not from fear, from calculation. She's running scenarios, calculating odds, every variable, every possible outcome. They all end the same way. Captured. Or worse. Unless she's willing to hurt innocent soldiers. Unless she's willing to become what Riker is trying to make her. A criminal. A threat. Something that justifies his actions. She won't. Can't. The line exists for a reason. Cross it once, and everything she believes about honor and duty becomes meaningless. Riker sees the resignation in her eyes. Smiles. Smart choice. Release the corporal. Get on your knees. Hands behind your head. This ends now. Rhea releases her hold. The corporal scrambles away. She stands alone, surrounded. 10 weapons pointed at her. No backup, no escape route, no miracle solution. She lowers herself to one knee, then the other, hands behind her head. Riker approaches, pulls zip-tie cuffs from his belt, reaches for her wrists, and the lights go out. Complete darkness. Emergency lights should kick in. They don't. Someone has cut power to the entire building. The soldiers shout, flashlights click on, beams sweep through the blackness. But Rhea is already gone, moving through the dark like water through cracks. No sound, no visible motion, just instant relocation. She knows this building. Every inch, every obstacle, every hiding spot. The soldiers know the layout too, but knowing it in daylight and navigating it in absolute darkness are different skills. Rhea excels at darkness. A soldier swings his flashlight left. Empty space. Right? Nothing. Behind. Rhea is there. Single strike, pressure point behind the knee. He drops. Silent takedown. She's gone before he hits the ground. Another soldier moves past, doesn't see her pressed against the wall, doesn't hear her breathe. She waits until he's 3 steps past, reaches out, Nerve strike to the neck. Controlled. Precise. He slumps. She lowers him quietly to the floor. The soldiers are calling to each other, trying to maintain formation, but they can't see, can't coordinate. Fear is creeping in. The fear of fighting an opponent who owns the darkness. Riker shouts orders. Stay together, back to back, cover all angles. But it's too late. The formation is broken. Soldiers are scattered, isolated, vulnerable. One by one, they go down. 18 seconds. 10 trained soldiers, all incapacitated. Not killed, not permanently injured, just neutralized. Removed from the fight with the kind of efficiency that comes from thousands of hours of training and a lifetime of combat experience. When emergency power finally kicks in, the scene is impossible. 10 soldiers on the ground, some unconscious, some holding injured wrists or knees, all disarmed, all defeated. And standing in the center of the room, breathing steady, not a mark on her, is Rhea Maddox. Riker is on his knees, hands secured behind his back with his own zip ties. He looks up at her, fear and fury warring in his expression. The door opens. Major Vex enters. Behind him, Sergeant Cole and Private Elise Danner. All three stop when they see the aftermath. Cole's voice is quiet, awed. Master Chief, we thought you were dead. Rhea looks at him, really looks at him. Recognition clicks. Sergeant Cole. Been a long time. 2 years. Since Black Horizon training rotation. You taught me advanced hand-to-hand, nerve strikes, pressure points. He gestures at the unconscious soldiers. This was you. All of you. Yes. Elise steps forward, holds up her tablet, the photo from the classified file. The image of Rhea in full SEAL gear, the tattoo visible on her shoulder. You're Captain Rhea Maddox, SEAL Combat Master, instructor of Black Horizon Training Unit. The room goes silent. The truth is out. No more hiding. No more pretending. Rhea reaches up, slowly pulls down the collar of her shirt, exposing her right shoulder. The SEAL Trident tattoo, the serial number beneath it. BH117. Proof of identity. Proof of history. Proof that the legend is real. Cole stands at attention, snaps a perfect salute. Master Chief, it's an honor. One by one, the conscious soldiers struggle to their feet, see the tattoo, recognize what it means. They all salute, even injured, even confused. Because whatever else is happening, whatever conspiracy or betrayal is unfolding, they're in the presence of military royalty, and protocol demands respect. Rhea stands straight, returns the salute. When she speaks, her voice carries the weight of command, the authority that comes not from rank, but from having earned the right to lead. At ease, all of you. You were following orders. No blame falls on you. She looks down at Riker. He stops struggling. His face has gone pale. The reality of his situation is sinking in. He didn't just attack a civilian contractor. He didn't just attempt to assault a trespasser. He attacked a superior officer, a decorated combat veteran, someone whose service record could fill 3 files and whose confirmed kills could probably fill 3 more. The door opens wider. More personnel enter, military police, command officers, people who heard the commotion, people who recognize what that tattoo means. The situation is out of control, beyond containment. The secret Rhea tried to keep is public now, and there's no going back. The silence in the weapons storage building stretches like wire pulled taut. Military police move efficiently, securing Riker, checking the unconscious soldiers, taking statements. The standard protocol for when everything stops being standard. Major Vex approaches Rhea, keeps his voice low enough that only she can hear. We need to debrief, privately, now. Rhea nods. They move to a corner away from the main activity. Vex pulls out a secure tablet, taps through encrypted files. Facial recognition confirmed your identity 2 hours ago. I intercepted the report before it reached Riker's desk, but he must have run a secondary check through personal channels. That's how he knew to set this trap. Who cut the power? I did. When I realized what was happening, gave you a fighting chance. Appreciated. Vex swipes to another screen. His expression darkens. We've got a bigger problem. While you were dealing with Riker, our surveillance team intercepted another communication. Vanguard Ghost knows you're here. They know you're alive. And they've activated their asset on this base. Asset? Singular? Yes, someone Riker was working with. Someone who's been feeding intelligence to Vanguard Ghost for the past 18 months. We don't have a name yet, but we have a location. They're supposed to make contact in 90 minutes, 23:30 hours, north perimeter, near the vehicle depot. Rhea processes this. The timeline is collapsing. Her cover is blown. Riker is captured, but the real traitor is still active, still dangerous. And now they know she's hunting them. What's the play? We set up surveillance, wait for them to show, identify, and apprehend. That gives them 90 minutes to run, to warn their handlers, to destroy evidence. It's the safest approach. Safe doesn't catch traitors. Vex knows that tone, knows what it means. What are you thinking? I'm thinking we don't wait. We apply pressure, force them to make a mistake. How? Before Rhea can answer, Sergeant Jax Renly approaches. His face is pale, hands shaking slightly. The shock of learning who Rhea really is hasn't worn off. Behind him, Elise Danner and several other soldiers wait at a respectful distance. Master Chief, his voice cracks on the title. I need to speak with you, privately. It's urgent. Rhea studies him, sees genuine distress, not the kind you fake, the kind that comes from impossible choices and terrible consequences. Go ahead. Jax glances at Vex. Sir, with respect, this is personal. Vex looks to Rhea. She nods. He steps away, giving them space. Jax waits until he's out of earshot, then pulls out his phone, hands it to Rhea with trembling fingers. On the screen, a video. Timestamp shows it was recorded 20 minutes ago. The image is grainy but clear enough. A young woman, maybe 19, sitting in a chair, hands bound. Tape over her mouth. Fear in her eyes. Behind her, a figure in tactical gear, face obscured. The figure speaks, voice distorted by an electronic modulator. Sergeant Renly, you have 30 minutes to complete your assignment. Kill Captain Maddox. Bring proof. If you succeed, your sister lives. If you fail, she dies. If you contact authorities, she dies. If you deviate from instructions, she dies. Clock starts now. The video ends. Timestamp, 22:47. That was 13 minutes ago. Rhea looks at Jax. His eyes are wet, jaw clenched so hard his teeth might crack. That's Emma, my sister. She's a freshman at State, lives off campus. I got this video right before I came to find you. His voice drops to a whisper. I'm supposed to kill you. I'm supposed to prove I did it, and then maybe they'll let her go. They won't. I know, but what choice do I have? Rhea hands back the phone. Her mind is working through scenarios, timelines, connections. Jax Renly, top soldier in the training unit, access to classified systems, trust from command staff, perfect profile for a recruited asset. How long have you been working for them? Jax's head snaps up. What? I'm not working for them. I would never. Then how did they know to target your sister? How did they know you'd be here tonight? How did they know I'd be revealed? I don't know. I swear, I don't know. But his denial lacks conviction. Because somewhere in his mind, pieces are connecting. Memories he's tried to ignore. Small requests that seemed innocent at the time. Information he shared that he thought was harmless. Rhea sees the realization hit him like a truck. You're Shade 09. The words drop like stones into deep water. Jax staggers back, shakes his head violently. No, that's not possible. I would never betray my country. I would never. You didn't mean to. They recruited you slowly. Small favors, innocent questions, information that seemed routine. They built a profile, found your pressure points, and when they needed you for something big, they had leverage. Jax sinks against the wall. His legs won't hold him anymore. I thought I was helping. They said they were friendly intelligence, interagency cooperation. They had credentials, clearances. Everything looked legitimate. How long? 18 months, since right after Black Horizon fell. They approached me during my grief counseling, said they needed help investigating what went wrong, that I could honor the fallen by making sure it never happened again. 18 months. The entire timeline of Vanguard Ghost's operation, every piece of intelligence they've stolen, every operation they've compromised, all flowing through one soldier who thought he was doing the right thing. Rhea kneels beside him, puts a hand on his shoulder. When she speaks, her voice is firm, but not cruel. You're going to help me fix this, right now. We're going to save your sister. And we're going to end Vanguard Ghost's operation on this base. Together. Jax looks up, hope and disbelief warring on his face. How? They'll kill her if I don't. If you follow their instructions, she dies anyway. They can't leave witnesses, can't leave loose ends. Your sister is already marked. The only way to save her is to find her before the deadline. And the only way to do that is to trace the video back to its source. She stands, pulls Jax to his feet, calls to Vex. Major, we've got a situation. Jax Renly is Shade 09, unwitting asset, recruited through manipulation. His sister's been taken, 19-year-old civilian, hostage situation. Deadline is 23:17 hours. She checks her watch. 17 minutes from now. Vex processes this information faster than most people breathe. Can we trace the video? Working on it. Rhea takes Jax's phone, opens the video file, examines the metadata. Most of it has been stripped, but not all. Small fragments remain. GPS coordinates embedded in the video codec. Whoever sent this was confident Jax wouldn't know to look for them. She shows the screen to Vex. Warehouse District, 4 miles northeast, abandoned industrial complex. That's outside base jurisdiction. We need local law enforcement. FBI for the kidnapping, proper channels. Which takes hours we don't have. Emma Renly dies in 17 minutes. We move now or we don't move at all. Vex knows she's right. Also knows this violates about 15 protocols. His career versus a civilian life. Not really a choice. I'll call it in, get backup rolling, but they won't arrive in time. I know, which is why I'm not waiting. Rhea turns to the assembled soldiers, Hayes, Martinez, the others who attacked her earlier, who followed Riker's orders without question. She looks at each of them in turn. Corporal Hayes, you threw the first punch at me today. Thought I was weak, thought I was incompetent.
You want a chance to fix that mistake? Hayes straightens, shame and determination mixing on his face. Yes, Master Chief. Good. You're with me. Martinez, you too. Anyone else who wants to turn tonight's failure into tomorrow's redemption, you've got one chance. Right now. 6 soldiers step forward, including Elise Danner. Young, inexperienced, but willing. Private Danner, you're staying here. This is not training. With respect, Master Chief, you need every hand. And I know that warehouse district. My uncle worked there before it shut down. I can get you in through the maintenance tunnels. Rhea considers. Youth and knowledge versus safety and protocol. The mission wins. Fine, but you stay with me. Follow orders exactly. Understood? Yes, Master Chief. Cole appears from the dispersing crowd. I'm coming too. Someone needs to make sure these kids don't do something stupid. Rhea almost smiles. All right, 8 of us, plus Jax. Civilian rescue. Hostile force of unknown size. Tight timeline. No room for error. She looks at each face, sees determination, sees fear, sees the raw material that makes soldiers willing to risk everything for someone they've never met. We don't have tactical gear. We don't have backup. What we have is training, discipline, and 17 minutes. Move. They move. Fast. Cole commandeers 2 vehicles from the motor pool. Authorization can be sorted later. Rhea rides in the lead vehicle with Jax, Hayes, and Elise. Cole follows with the others. As they race through the night, Rhea runs scenarios. Warehouse. Hostage. Unknown number of hostiles. Best case, it's a small team. 2 or 3 operatives. Worst case, it's a full Vanguard Ghost cell. 8 to 10 trained killers. Jax sits beside her, silent, trying to process everything. His sister in danger, his unwitting betrayal, the legend sitting next to him who's risking everything to fix his mistakes. Why are you helping me?
I gave them information that probably got people killed.
Your people. Rhea doesn't look at him, keeps her eyes on the road ahead.
Because a good soldier isn't born broken. They're just placed on the wrong path. My job is to bring them back. The words hit Jax like absolution and condemnation together. He's not evil, just used. And now he has a chance to make it right. They reach the warehouse district. Abandoned buildings stretch into darkness. Elise directs them to a maintenance access point. Chain link fence. Lock already cut. Recent. Someone's been using this route. They move through silently. Rhea takes point. Hayes and Cole cover flanks. The others follow in tight formation. Military movement. Efficient. Quiet. Exactly how she taught them. The warehouse looms ahead. 3-story structure. Concrete and steel. Windows mostly broken. One section shows light. Faint. Probably battery-powered lanterns. That's where they're holding Emma. Rhea signals a halt. Pulls the team into cover behind a rusted shipping container. Checks her watch. 23:14. 3 minutes until deadline. She looks at Jax. How would Vanguard Ghost expect you to deliver proof? They said photograph the body. Send it to a burner number. So they're monitoring that number, waiting for confirmation, which means they have communication equipment, probably in the same room as Emma. We take out the guards, but if anyone gets to a phone or radio, they signal the execution. Hayes speaks up. Then we need to cut their communications first, jam the signals. No time to get jamming equipment, and if signals suddenly go dead, they'll know something's wrong. We need to make them think everything's proceeding as planned. If this story hit different, share it with someone who needs to see that strength isn't about being loud. It's about discipline when no one's clapping. Next episode drops soon. An idea forms. Risky. Relies on timing and deception. But it might work. Jax, call them. Tell them you've completed the assignment.
You have proof, but you need to deliver it in person. Insist on seeing Emma alive before you send the photo. They'll never agree to that. They will if you sound desperate enough. If you sound like someone who's just killed his hero and is falling apart, make them think you need reassurance, that you're about to break. Jax nods, pulls out his phone, dials the number from the video. It rings twice, clicks, no voice, just silence. It's done. Jax's voice shakes, not acting, real fear for his sister. I did what you asked. I have proof, but I need to see her first. I need to know she's alive. Please, I can't send this until I know she's okay. Silence. Then the distorted voice. You have 5 minutes. Approach from the north entrance. Alone. Hands visible. Any deviation, she dies. The line goes dead. Rhea looks at the team. They just gave us an entry point and a timeline. Hayes, Martinez, you're with me on the south side. Cole, take Elise and circle to the east. Watch for secondary exits. Anyone runs, you stop them. Non-lethal if possible. She turns to Jax. You walk in the front. Keep them focused on you. Give us time to position. Once you're inside, we move fast. Understood? Understood. They split up. Rhea, Hayes, and Martinez move through shadows toward the south side of the warehouse. Find a service entrance. Doors unlocked. Sloppy security. Or a trap. Either way, it's their best option. Inside, the warehouse is a maze of old machinery and storage racks. Rhea navigates by memory and instinct. The light source is ahead. Second floor. Voices carry through the empty space. She reaches a stairwell. Climbs slowly. Each step measured. No sound. At the top, a hallway. The lit room is at the far end. Door partially open. Through the gap, Rhea sees Emma Renly. Still bound. Still terrified. But alive. 2 figures stand near her, both armed, tactical gear, professional stance, not amateurs, real operators. A third figure enters the room, escorts Jax, pushes him forward roughly. Show me the proof, now. Jax holds up his phone, displays a photo. Rhea can't see the image, but she knows it's fake, something Jax created during the drive, good enough to fool people who want to believe. The lead operative studies the photo, nods. Acceptable. You've earned your sister's life, for now. Let her go. You promised. I promised she'd live if you succeeded. I didn't promise immediate release. She's insurance. Make sure you stay loyal. Jax's hands ball into fists. That wasn't the deal. The The deal is whatever I say it is. You're an asset now. Property. You do what we tell you, or she disappears for real. That's when Rhea moves. Fast. Silent. She covers the distance to the door in 3 seconds. Hayes and Martinez are right behind her. They enter as a unit. The operatives react. Training kicks in. Weapons come up. But Rhea is already inside their reaction curve. She strikes the nearest one, disarms him, uses his own momentum to throw him into the wall. He hits hard, doesn't get up. Hayes tackles the second operative. They go down together, wrestling for control of the weapon. Martinez moves to Emma, cuts her bonds, gets her behind cover. The third operative draws on Jax. Point-blank range, finger on the trigger. Everyone stop or I kill him. The room freezes. The operative is using Jax as a shield, backing toward a window, escape route planned. Rhea can see the calculation. Shoot the hostage, jump, disappear into the night. She doesn't give him the chance. Small stone from her pocket, flicked with precision, hits the operative's gun hand, not hard enough to break bones, hard enough to disrupt aim. The shot goes wide. Jax moves. Muscle memory from hundreds of hours of training. Elbow strike, hip throw. The operative goes down. Jax pins him, breathing hard. Adrenaline and rage mixing into something dangerous. Jax, stand down. Rhea's voice cuts through the red haze. We need him alive. We need information. Jax hesitates, then releases pressure. Steps back. Lets Hayes secure the operative with zip ties. Emma runs to her brother, throws her arms around him, sobs into his shoulder. Jax holds her, whispers that she's safe, that everything's going to be okay. Cole and Elise enter through the east entrance, clear the remaining rooms. No additional hostiles, just these three. A small cell, but enough to do serious damage. Sirens in the distance, backup arriving. Local police, FBI, the proper authorities that should have been here from the start. Better late than never. Rhea searches the captured operatives, finds phones, encrypted, but careless. One of them has notes, addresses, contact protocols, names. She shows them to Vex, who arrives with the official response team. He scans the information. His expression darkens. This is bigger than we thought. These are just foot soldiers. The real network runs deeper. Congressional staffers, defense contractors, even a few Pentagon liaisons. Vanguard Ghost isn't just stealing secrets, they're building an infrastructure. And now they know we're on to them. They'll scatter, go dark. We might lose them. Rhea thinks. The mission is only half complete. Riker is captured. Jax is freed from their manipulation. Emma is safe, but the larger organization remains intact. What about the 3 cells you mentioned, the ones still active? We have leads, nothing concrete. It'll take months to track them down properly. Or we can force them to come to us. Vex knows that look, knows what she's planning. That's not subtle. That's not safe. Safe doesn't win wars. Overwhelming force and psychological pressure win wars. They load the prisoners into transport vehicles, secure the scene. Emma is taken to medical for evaluation. Jax stays with her. The other soldiers return to base. Mission complete. Objective achieved. But the night isn't over. Back at the base, Rhea stands in the command briefing room, facing senior officers, explaining everything. Her cover, the investigation, the reveal, the rescue. She leaves nothing out. The officers listen, some with admiration, some with skepticism, all with respect. Because regardless of protocol violations, regardless of career-ending decisions, she saved lives, stopped traitors, protected the integrity of military operations. Colonel Davis, the base commander, leans back in his chair. Captain Maddox, your actions tonight were extraordinary, also completely outside proper channels. I should have you court-martialed. Instead, I'm recommending you for commendation. I don't need commendations, sir. I need authorization to finish this. Finish what? Vanguard Ghost still has 3 active cells. I want permission to hunt them, officially, with full support. Davis exchanges glances with the other officers. Long discussion happens in those silent looks. Finally, he nods. Permission granted. You'll operate under Major Vex's intelligence unit. Full tactical support. Whatever you need. Thank you, sir. The meeting concludes. Officers file out. Rhea remains. Vex approaches with a folder. These are the consequence reports. Want to know how tonight shakes out? Rhea takes the folder, opens it, reads. Immediate consequences. Lieutenant Colonel Damon Riker placed under arrest. Formal charges include treason, conspiracy, attempted assault on a superior officer, and obstruction of justice, facing military tribunal and potential life sentence. The 10 soldiers who followed his orders into the weapons storage building, suspended for 30 days, mandatory retraining on rules of engagement and chain of command, no permanent marks on their records. They followed orders. The fault lies with who gave those orders. Personal consequences. Sergeant Jax Renly, stripped of rank. Honorable discharge granted on condition of full cooperation with ongoing investigation. Enrollment in Veterans Psychological Rehabilitation Program. His sister Emma receives protective custody and relocation assistance. Professional consequences. Rhea Maddox officially reinstated. Full rank restored. Offered position as Master Instructor for Advanced Combat Training. Choice to accept or decline. Community consequences. Formal apology issued by Base Command to Captain Maddox. Public recognition ceremony scheduled. The 40 soldiers present during the reveal have requested permission to attend. Institutional consequences. Implementation of the Maddox Protocol. New security measures. Internal review processes to identify potential asset recruitment. Anonymous reporting channels for suspicious activity. Mandatory counterintelligence training for all personnel with security clearances. Legacy. Captain Maddox's challenge coin to be awarded to soldiers who complete advanced combat leadership programs. Symbol of excellence. Proof that strength comes from discipline, not arrogance. Rhea closes the folder. 6 layers of consequences. Exactly as it should be. Justice served. Systems improved. Future generations protected. But there's still work to do. 2 days later, Rhea stands at the front of a new training class. 40 soldiers. Fresh recruits. Eager faces, nervous energy. They've heard the stories, the legend who came back from the dead, the woman who took down 10 armed soldiers in 18 seconds. She doesn't address those stories. Instead, she speaks about duty, about honor, about the difference between strength and violence, about knowing when to fight and when to show mercy. The soldiers listen, really listen, because they're not just hearing theory, they're hearing truth from someone who's lived it. After class, Elise Danner approaches. She's been selected as Rhea's mentee, training under someone who rewrote the manual on combat instruction. Master Chief, can I ask you something? Go ahead. Why did you come back? After everything Riker did to you, after losing your team, you could have stayed dead, started a new life. Why risk everything to return? Rhea considers the question, looks out over the training ground. The same field where she was humiliated, where she was tested, where she proved who she really is. Because the mission wasn't finished. Black Horizon fell. 6 people died. Someone had to answer for that. Someone had to make sure it never happens again. And now? Now the mission continues. Vanguard Ghost has 3 remaining cells. We're going to find them, dismantle them, make sure no other soldier gets manipulated like Jax was. Elise nods, understanding, respecting the dedication. Major Vex arrives, carries a secure tablet. His expression is serious. We've got a hit. One of the Vanguard Ghost cells made contact. They're requesting an emergency extraction. Seems our little warehouse raid spooked them. They're trying to disappear before we can move. Where? Northern border, near Canadian crossings, remote area, perfect for covert operations. When? 48 hours. We have time to plan this properly, do it right. Rhea takes the tablet, studies the intelligence, location, suspected personnel, resources. It's a trap. Has to be. Vanguard Ghost knows she's coming. They're prepared. Good. So is she. That evening, Rhea sits alone in her quarters. On her desk, a single item. Challenge coin. Worn, scratched, carried through a dozen countries and 100 missions. On one side, the seal trident. On the other, a simple inscription. Strength in silence. Victory in discipline. Her phone buzzes. Text message. Unknown number. She opens it. A photograph. Blurry. Taken from distance. Shows a building she doesn't recognize. Below the image, a single line of text. Tower 4 sends regards. Tower 4. Code designation. One she hasn't heard in 5 years, a black site, decommissioned, supposedly empty, but apparently not. Someone is watching, someone knows who she is, what she's doing, and they're reaching out. Question is whether they're friend or enemy. Rhea deletes the message. The phone number is already gone, untraceable. Professional tradecraft. Whoever sent it knows what they're doing. She stands, walks to the window, looks out over the base. Soldiers moving between buildings, training continuing, life proceeding. But underneath the routine, currents of danger, threats that never sleep, enemies who evolve. Her reflection in the glass shows a woman who's walked through fire and come out forged in steel, scars that tell stories, eyes that have seen too much, hands that have saved lives and ended threats. The challenge coin sits on the windowsill, catching moonlight, symbol of everything she believes, everything she fights for. Tomorrow, she'll hunt the remaining cells. She'll track down every trace of Vanguard Ghost. She'll protect the soldiers who trust her. She'll train the next generation. She'll honor the fallen from Black Horizon. But tonight, she allows herself one moment of reflection, one breath of satisfaction. Because she came back. She proved herself. She made them remember. A good soldier isn't born broken. They're just placed on the wrong path. And Captain Rhea Maddox's job? Bringing them back. One mission at a time. One soldier at a time. One battle at a time. Justice isn't loud. It's patient. And it never stops.
Every soldier carries a story that few ever hear. Listen with your heart. Thank you for staying and watching. Subscribe to MVB Story for more.